Right, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Bakar Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule impeccably well, and Shalom to the Akim that's pushing his truth and sincerity across the four winds. Right, I just want to get into a quick video, and it's going to be centered around this article I've discovered on SkyNews.com. And as you can see, it says here, military could be used in the event of a no-deal Brexit, says minister. All right. Now, as we know, currently over here in the UK, Brexit is basically, the UK looking to leave the EU, which is going to have, very heavy ramifications on the way of life over here in the UK, right? Whether they have a deal or whether they don't have a deal. Just the sheer mention of Brexit has actually caused a lot of chaos over here in the UK, right? Financially, spiritually, and it's already done its damage, man. And there's basically no turning back, which is a beautiful thing, man. Because the Lord is he's making all of these kingdoms divided, man. Right, as it tells us in Daniel the 2nd chapter, which we're going to get into, right quick. But it says here, Tobias, the guy's name is Tobias Elwood, said talks were being held behind the scenes about contingency plans. He told Sky Sophie Ridge on Sunday, it is the job of the Chief of Defense Staff, indeed the MOD Defense Secretary, to consider all scenarios over how vague or rare they might be, or whether they might be something that's expected. We have to plan for every single scenario, right? So yes, there are contingency plans being made. There are discussions being held behind the scenes as to what support our armed forces will do, which is basically, them talking about, launching martial law, when the results come in that there's going to be a no deal Brexit, because there's a lot of ramifications that's going to happen for a no deal Brexit, and just a few of them you can see here, man. It says NHS, the key issue for the NHS are staffing, health insurance, and access to medicine. Right, so the professor of health and care law, University of Birmingham, said staffing is a longer term question, and the NHS is reliant on staff from other EU states. And that's right, there's a lot of people from the EU that are working here in the UK. And let me tell you from experience, man, a lot of these, people from the EU are harder workers than these people over here in the UK, man. Right? They're more diligent, they're more attentive, they work harder. Right? They know the meanings of certain things, and they have something to live for, man. But these people over here in the UK, they're lazy, man. Right? That's why they're always moaning about, the Europeans taking their jobs, taking all the best jobs, because they actually work harder, man. While on the issue of health insurance and the EHIC card said, while the card is not a substitute for travel insurance, it does deal with medically necessary healthcare. This can be people who have a multiple range of conditions such as cancer, where travel insurance is going to be very expensive. Right? Now, students. Publishing the Brexit white papers, the government left the doors open for EU students to come into the UK. The proposal makes clear that free movement will end, but the future arrangements will allow students to benefit from world-leading universities. This would allow streamlined movement back and forth between EU and UK, and not just for university, but also for cultural experiences, man. So everything is going to be changed, man, right? Right? Holidays, everything's going to be changed. Jobs, 5,000 city jobs will move to the continent by March 2019, right? So you're going to have a whole lot of job losses. You're going to have people fighting against each other. Immigration, there's going to be a certain amount of people that will probably be sent back. Let me read this. During the transition period, EU citizens arriving in the UK would enjoy the same rights and guarantees as those who arrived beforehand. and the same would apply to UK expats on the continent. However, it remains unclear what would happen in the event of a no-deal Brexit, as this transition period would not go ahead, right? So you're going to have certain people over here in the UK from the EU that, might be booted out, man, right? Or they won't be receiving or eligible to receive certain benefits, right? And because of that, they'll be deemed homeless, right? It's going to be so much, mayhem going on, when this no deal Brexit, comes into fruition. It's going to be pretty impressive, man. And, really, this whole no deal Brexit thing is, in some parts of the country and in the council, there's many things that are already happening behind the scenes that are heavily influenced by Brexit, man. Cutting off certain benefits, for certain women and stuff of that nature. So, they're already, putting certain laws in place and, limiting certain things that you can apply for, if you're from, outside of the UK, man. Right? So it really is, it's already begun, man. Right? There ain't no going back now. The mere talk of it has already, caused an earthquake of things to unravel. All right? Which really is a beautiful thing, because we want to get the hell out of this place, man. Right? We want to get out of Esau's kingdom. All right? And this wicked kingdom. We don't want to inhabit this place anymore, man. So, this is good news. Martial law, the kingdom's breaking up. This is all biblical prophecy, man. All right? Now it says here, let's go to Daniel 2 and 41. And whereas thou sowest defeat and toils, part of the potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as thou sowest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And that is exactly, what we're experiencing right now with this whole Brexit situation, man. Right? The breakup of the kingdoms, man. They're no longer in agreements no more, man. Right? And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay, man. Right? So they're becoming opposites, man. All right? They're no longer cleaving to each other the way they used to. Right? They now want to separate. And this is biblical prophecy, man. Right? This is biblical prophecy that's coming to pass. Right? So it's already been done. It's already been fulfilled, man. All right? And now they're having talks of, using the military, to basically, try and stop anything that's going to happen when that is announced, man. Because there's going to be a lot of mayhem. Because as we read in this article here, a lot of things in society is going to be affected by the no-deal Brexit. All right? Now this is Second Esdras and 15, and I'll start from verse 14. And it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So it says destruction to the world and them that dwell therein, man. Right? Because destruction is coming in all forms, man. Destruction is coming in, the breakup of the nations, martial law, race riots. All of these things are coming, man. And this is a great destruction to the world, because why? This kingdom is getting ready to go down, man. Right? So before any kingdom goes down, you have things that happen beforehand. It starts minor. Then you get, the more serious things happening in society. It's all part of the breakup of this kingdom. And then, the ultimate, decision maker and if you like, destruction is going to be World War III. That's going to, finish all of these, disputes, so to speak, man. All right? So woe to the world, destruction to the world, and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, man. So that's what's going to happen on these streets, man. You're going to have one people fighting against another people, man. And that's happening with the nations right now. One nation is fighting against another nation. They're in disagreement, all right? And the same spirit is being leaked down to the people that inhabit those nations. They're also fighting against each other too. And you got civil war. You got people within a country, of all different nationalities, because, it's a big melting pot, and all these people are fighting against each other, man. You have these British, right, basically telling the Europeans to get out of their country, But, you know, you're always in their country anyway, man. You know, they're trying to come here, you know, because they want to come here to make a better life for themselves. They want to send money back home. So they're hard workers, man. You know? And then, you know, you got these British lads, you know, women getting angry that these people are in their countries, man. You know, because they're taking advantage, they're taking all the opportunities. You know, this is all biblical prophecy, man. This is the Lord dividing the nations, man. You know, making them go against each other, man. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. It really is a beautiful thing to watch, man, because the next kingdom that's going to be set up is the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? And it says here, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? A man shall desire to go into a sea and shall not be able. Now that's martial law, man. That's basically speaking of martial law right there. You know, when they start involving the military, that's a state of martial law, because you're no longer using, you know, the default police. You're using soldiers, man, right, to basically get order and get control, because you know that it's reached a point of a threat. All right. So a man shall desire to go into a sea and shall not be able, because all them avenues are going to be cut off, and pretty much where you are, you're going to have to stay there, man. Right? Because you're going to have them troops, you know, basically, you know, cutting off the main points of how to get into a city, you know, the M25, you know, all of them major road systems, man. Right? For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid, man. That all of these things are coming, you know, to the whole world ultimately, not just the UK, you know, not just America. You know, this scenario, these things that we're reading here in the Apocrypha, Second Esdras, are gonna, you know, befall the whole world, man. All right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And that's exactly what's gonna happen, man. No one's gonna have pity on anyone no more, man, because it's gonna be a dog eat dog climate that's gonna befall upon the world. Right? It's going to be dog eat dog. It's going to be everyone for himself. It's going to be survival mode. And when people operate in survival mode, what happens, man? Right? Anything goes. You know? Whereas, you know, someone would have trembled, you know, to, you know, cause harm to someone or to kill to someone, in that day, it's going to become second nature. Right? You're just going to do it. It's going to be one of your instincts. It's going to be survival. All right? But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for a great tribulation, man. Right? Because you're not going to have any food, man. So that's why people are going to be driven to do these desperate things. Right? When you don't have any food, you know, for, you know, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, you're pretty much willing to do anything, man. Especially the people, you know, that have no self-control and have no discipline. Right? That's why it's a good thing to fast. You know, it's a good thing to fast, man. You know, and to be spiritual. Because these people in this world, they don't fast. They don't do spiritual things. They don't have any practices that sustain them from food or from water for periods of times. So they're not used to, you know, that way of living. Right? But that's why the men of the Lord, we do certain things every now and again, you know, to get you into the mode of, you know, if you don't have food for 5, 6, 7 days, you're going to be all right. You know, but the people in the world, you know, when they get to the 5th day of having no food, you know, they're going to be bugging out, man. And you got millions upon millions of people with that same mind state that all of these changes is going to affect. So it's going to be mayhem out here, man. All right. But, you know, I just wanted to quickly, you know, bring that out. And Lord willing, it was edifying, man. And, you know, this place is going down real soon, man. It's evident from the kind of articles that are being released, the talks, you know, from the politicians and the world leaders. This place is on its way out, man. And it's a beautiful thing. And with that, I say shalom.